The other part of this box that we're going to be using extensively in the next steps is on the right-hand side here. Once we've inspected an element, we can then see what CSS properties are associated with it. So at the very top, you see we have a selector, a link and a visited. A simpler selector is right here. So the a tag, it says, has a color of, and then this is the color. You can hover over a color in order to see a preview of it. So this tells us the selector. It gives us a list of the properties associated with that selector. And then it also tells us what CSS file this code is found in. So this is found in the colors.css file on line 30. We can click this if we want to load up that CSS file and see where the style is that we're looking at in the context of the other styles on that style sheet. So you see we have our A style right here. And we can then use the navigation up here in order to go back to the window that we were just at. Now notice that there's a set of selectors and a set of properties in each one of these selectors. What this means is that the styles that are affecting this particular element on the page are multiple. For example, this a link, a visited, which are the states of link and visited for this particular link, has a text decoration of none. And then any a tag or any anchor tag on the page has a text color of this blue color here. This .breadcrumb says that anything that has a class of breadcrumb or is inside of an element that has a class of breadcrumb, and we see that this is inside of an element from this inherited from div.breadcrumb, that anything with this class has a font size of 0.929 EMs. And if you scroll down, you'll see that there's other selectors as well, some of them very complex, and more properties that this particular element has. One of the most important aspects of this section over here is not only can you see the CSS that's being applied to an element, but you can alter it as well. So for example, as we hover over an element, we see this cross circle that we can click on in order to remove this styling. So you saw as soon as we did that, then our link up here got an underline. If we toggle it back on again, you'll see that that underline goes away. We can also change the color. Once I click the circle and cross for the A color property, then the color goes to purple, which is the visited color for most browsers. We can also add additional styles. If you click on the value of the last property listed in a particular selector and hit enter, it takes you to a new line that will allow you to input additional properties for this element. So if we wanted to say font size 30 pixels, we could do that. And as soon as we did that, our page changes to reflect this new property. So all of the tabs are huge as well as the breadcrumb links. We can go ahead and cancel that out by clicking the circle and cross and resetting it to the way it was before we made the change. We also can adjust the values of existing properties. So if I wanted to change the font size here, I could do this as well. And notice that we have the changes occurring for anything inside of the breadcrumb div.